Good afternoon, Blind Prime here, and welcome to More Meets the Eye. We have for you today the robot mode for Armada Tidal Wave from Transformers Legacy United. I have on my left Armada Tidal Wave. I have on my right Black Zerek, because Black Zerek is straight up my favorite Titan class figure I've gotten so far. Metroplex is still a grail of mine. I intend to get that guy one day, and Fortress Maximus, but not the one based on Metroplex, because it just doesn't feel right. Let me put my little Zephyr thing right there where Kream can't bat it around. Kream's been upset today because he's been relocated to this corner of the table over here because Black Zerek's been laying down. He takes up a lot of space. Kream, don't you start taking up the space that Black Zerek was taking up. He's going to lay back down in a bit. So for today, we're going to be comparing Tidal Wave here to Black Zerek and a few other figures that I have scattered around on the table. We're also going to be doing the in-depth blind reaction review to robot mode for Tidal Wave. And in addition to that, well, I'm going to give you my overall thoughts and feelings of it, and my opinion of this figure at the end of the video. So, stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for my opinion. So far, I haven't really been enjoying this figure, and here's for the robot mode. We've got it. Why does this piece keep falling off? Will you just stay together? What's going on with this leg? Not again. Not again. This just happened a few minutes ago, where it just randomly fell off whenever I touched it. It just doesn't seem to want to connect, and I have no idea what's going on with it. But we will definitely be bringing up things like that, like the fact that these guys got pieces that just seem to like to fall off sometimes. At least on my set, and I don't know about anybody else's, but this guy has not really been coming through the way people thought he would, or at least the way I thought he would. There, put that back, close that thing, try and lock it in. Why isn't it locking into place, though? Why isn't this one locks in? Okay, we got to figure this out real quick, my viewers and listeners. We're going to pull this one off, okay? All right, that's all good. It's all together. Wait. Oh, I was putting mine in upside down. That can help. That's a blind people problem right there. I had it in upside. There it goes. It fits a lot better now. In case you're visually impaired, I was just fiddling with these weird wing things on the bottoms of midway through his legs, the amphibious assault vehicle that makes up his legs. I was playing with them and I put them in backwards, but they're fixed now. They're all good. Let's get to the size comparisons. So I want to, I think I'm going to set Black Zerek off over here. We're going to start small and get bigger, okay? All right, so we're going to lay Black Zerek down and Kream. Black Zerek's about to kick you in the face if you don't move, all right? Because you're laying in the spot I specified for Zerek. Okay. Let's move Tidal Wave here, and we're going to start off with Cliffjumper, the smallest of the Chug figures. Ooh, Cliffjumper. I like to start off with Cliffjumper or Bumblebee to just kind of give you, here's the smallest possible deluxe we can get, and let's take a look at how they are compared. Yeah, it's a big difference here. Let's see. We're going to slide you over here just slightly. Let's put you on the side of him, and the head of Cliffjumper here goes up midway up the leg, the lower leg, gets to this the just below where the wing starts. This little fold out wing. Let's double check that. Yeah, just below where that wing's edge is on his leg. That is wild. Bringing him up here, we can compare him to the head. If we can get near there, there we go. Tidal Wave's head goes up to midway up the chest of Cliffjumper. That's a big head. So we're going to move Cliffjumper over here. Okay. Next size up is Commander. No way. Actually, no, it's Megatron. I put him over here. Here he is. Come here, Megs. Okay, so here is the Armada Megatron, and plenty of people have been doing the size comparisons, but nobody's really actually done the size comparisons like I do them. And yeah, my Armada Meg's arbs don't like to stay right. So we're going to bring his tops of his little ear things, and we're going to set him up sideways so we can get to the top of his head. We're not going to cover his ears. All right, so there. The top of his head goes just above the joint for the knee, I think. and the top of his shoulder armor goes up almost all the way to the top of the thigh. It's actually, let's see, is it below or above? It's right at the square on the inner thigh where that when we were making the super battleship mode where we plugged everything, the amphibious vehicle on the side. Yeah, the top of his treads that make up the big giant shoulder pads for Armada Megatron actually reach about there. That is crazy. Let's do a comparison up here with the head. And Megatron is, Tidal Wave's head goes to, let's level it up, there it is, the top of Megatron's knee. So, pretty big head there. We're going to set Megatron over here. There you go, Mr. Megs. And let's bring out Armada Optimus Prime. Let's slide this over just a bit. There we go. And we're going to bring out Armada Optimus Prime. And there's the comparison of Armada Prime. Here he goes. Cut it across at the top. And we've got just at the groin area, just above the groin for this. That's actually that weird feeling tower. Because there's these two towers on the battleship mode that makes up the chest of Tidal Wave, and the top of Optimus Prime goes to the bottom of that tower, the lower one that's right above the groin. That's pretty wild. Let's set it on the side over here, and we've got, look, raise your arm up. Actually, you need to raise Tidal Wave's arm so we can get in here and see the comparison. So Armada Prime has just done what the other ones haven't done and forced him to raise an arm. But actually, strangely enough, he comes to just above the square on the inside of the thigh that the amphibious vehicle plugs into. So he's just a little bit taller than the weird pillar tread things on Megatron's shoulders. So we're going to set him up over here to the side. Not going to... Your feet aren't flat. There we go. Excellent. Okay, now let's move on to a comparison that I'm excited to do because I think this is a good comparison for sure. Here we go. We've got Menasaur. Yay, Menasaur. Okay, so Menasaur here stands right there, right above the bottom tower that the Commander Class Optimus Prime actually stood just below this bottom tower, and Menasaur's head is just above this bottom tower. Menasaur is also just as wide as the core area of Tidal Wave here. Pretty cool. Let's put a side-by-side comparison there for Menasaur. Where do you go up on the side? You go just above this turret, like the cannon turret on the lower cannon turret on the side of Tidal Wave here can actually, if it just went sideways, can just shoot Menasaur right in the face. Just bam. I think just amazing. Now, here's something also I want to compare. Let's come over here to this one. Raise your arm that has the sword. Let's take a look-see. How is it that Menasaur's hand that's holding the sword and Tidal Wave's hand are the same size? Like, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. And we're going to talk about that. But I wanted to bring in the case that we can actually get a better one if we raise up the arm here. Okay. I'm going to raise up that hand, and we're going to lower your arm. There it goes. Up too many times. There it goes. All right, there we are. Spread this stuff back, and there you have it. Their hands together, and they are about the same size. I'm not happy with the fact that Menasaur's hands and Tidal Wave's hands are the same size. I don't think that's cool. I think that's a messed up thing right there. We're going to set Menasaur over here. Kream, please don't mess with Menasaur. I really like him. So you're just going to set him here. Okay? You be gentle with Menasaur. Okay, Kream? Yeah, be gentle with Menasaur. Now, finally, let's bring in Black Zerek. Now, I got to bring Tidal Wave forwards because Black Zerek is bigger than Tidal Wave. Okay, Black Zerek is everything that you want in a Titan class figure. Weight, heft, there's only one negative to Tidal Wave, and that's his toesy woesies. I don't like the toes. I think that they using a hinge that pops up for the toes of a guy this big and weighty should not have been possible. But see here that the top of Tidal Wave's head thingamajigger goes midway up the face of Black Zerek here. Actually, just above the crest, you know, right above the eyebrow area for Black Zerek is where the head of Tidal Wave is. Black Zerek is a lot wider than Tidal Wave at the shoulders. Black Zerek is about the same width at the... Weird. Wait a second. What's going on here? Tidal Wave, your legs and Black Zerek's legs are actually... Let's see. Double checking. Uh-huh. Yeah. I think Tidal Wave's legs and Black Zerek's legs are actually the same height. No, just a smidge different. We're actually gonna let's move you over here. I'm gonna move you over here. Okay, let's see. We're going to put you guys back to back real quick. All right, move you around. There he is. Ooh, moving these guys around is heavy work. Okay, all right, and there we go. Putting them back to back, and there it goes. Okay, there we are. Back to back. You're not straight, man. There it goes. Okay. Yeah. You click too many. You click too many times there. You click too many times. But now you're good. Now we can actually get a better idea of these legs. Let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah. Tidal Wave's legs, hips are just slightly lower than Black Zerek's, but Tidal Wave's shoulders are actually much lower than Black Zerek's shoulders. Wow. They are definitely different weight classes. Like, you could tell they're both Titan classes, but like, I can't wrap my middle finger and thumb around Tidal Wave's thigh. Not Tidal Wave, Black Zerek's thigh, but I can wrap my middle finger and thumb around Tidal Wave's thigh. It's the same everywhere else. Black Zerek is just bigger on every level, even the hands. Like Black Zerek, your arms, your hands are weird but posable, and definitely not the piddly widdly hands of Tidal Wave. So there's the comparison of the two. Oh my God, Black Zerek, you're a big boy. Kream, no, that's a bad Kream. Now I gotta put Black Zerek on the floor. Totally stole Black Zerek's seat. Alright, Zerek, you're gonna be good here, huh? You're gonna be nice. Don't fall on the ground, okay? That's a good Zerek. That's a good Zerek. Alright, let's get to the actual review for Tidal Wave now that we've gone through the size comparisons, because I wanted to make sure you understood what is the size of this thing in comparison to the biggest Titan class I own, and also a few other things that have been known to be kind of big things. And then, of course, Cliffjumper, because he's known to be a small thing, and it's always important to compare big things to small things. So let's get into this comparison, this actual review of him. So first off, we've got to talk about articulation. The knees are really good, but according to Markiplier, the springs in there can be a little tight and can actually lead to damaging your knee. It can lock up on you if you're not careful, and really do some damage in there. So be aware of that. I've mentioned it a few times now, but I will mention it again because I want to make sure that you're aware of this QC problem. I think, paying $200 plus for a collectible like this, then you don't expect to find out that whoops, we put a spring in there that's too strong. That's messed up, and I disagree with that completely, and I'm very upset that that's even a thing happening. Like, these knees are tight. They are very tight. And you've got to be careful when moving them around. Just make sure you have a sturdy grip on it, and things like that. So it's got ankle tilt that we've come to expect from things like this, even the bigger things. And it's got a nice hard ratchet for the ankle tilt. It's also got a ratcheted thigh rotation, and if you don't accidentally pop the leg out, you can move the leg back and forth on its own little ratchet, and then forwards and backwards. So, side to side on its own ratchet. And it's a strong ratchet too. They rarely do ratchets for the side motion, so I love that. And then forwards and backwards, it's got a strong ratchet there as well. The arms here, there is no core swivel, by the way, nothing at all there. But the arms don't really pull a 360. Maybe they can. Let's see. They do pull an entire 360. It's a bunch of clicks. Then they can raise up to about a little more than 90 before you accidentally pop the entire arm thing out of socket, and then I guess you could raise it up even more. But now he's got like this crazy armpit spike coming out of it. That's his ultimate stinky weapon. I don't know. So elbow, it just pulls a little more than a 90, but it's got a nice hard ratchet to it. The hands can, the fingers can swivel, the entire hand can swivel, and the fingers can close. But this hand is just a mess. It's an absolute disgusting mess of a hand. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I do not like that hand. So that's those things. Coming up here to the chest, we've got the 4 guns, which you can take off and put other places if you want, but you can just also just kind of position them around in here. I do like the fact that we get swivel guns, where on our arc we should have gotten swivel guns. Instead we got molded plastic guns. Kind of sucked. The chest area is all the top of the battleship that we talked about in the Black Fleet episode, and then you come up here to his head, and his head's all right. He's got like a smirking face. He doesn't have a face mask. He's got this powerful chin that pops out. Like, wow, that's an insane chin. And it's also like really weird shape. It just comes down and out. It's like a duckbill of a chin. Coming up here to his eyes, we've got, there's his nose. His eyes are deep set in there, but they're not easy to feel. You can kind of feel them with your fingertips, but I think the eyes should have been a little bigger. Coming up here to the head, we've got this mohawk thing, and it's recessed back just a little bit. On the back of it is this port that you're supposed to be able to plug the chest piece into during transformation, and mine doesn't work right because something's up with that post. It's tilted at a weird angle. It doesn't make any sense to me. And yeah, that's the articulation. Now let's get to the way it feels. So his feet down here, good textures overall. I don't like the fact that it feels like, you know, he's got these booties that hang over this folded over material above his feet. It feels like a mess, like he's wearing some sort of tennis shoe or something, and this is the tongue for the shoe just folded over. It's just a little bit of a mess. Coming up here, we've got these weird little nubbins on the end because I couldn't figure out where to put these accessories that are just rounded dome things, which are just terrible, by the way, because you can never get a good grip on them. And when they get in there really tight. So I actually had to use a pair of pliers to remove them from one of the places I put them because I just could not get them out. I don't get them. I don't get them at all. Let me know in the comments, what are those supposed to be? Because I don't understand what they're supposed to be. They just seem to be in the way, and we could have gotten some cooler accessories. Coming up here to the thighs, they actually did sculpt out the thighs. I love it when they do that. They put some muscle tone kind of thing, where you got these giant pistons, and then you have this interior structure work going on. All the thigh is sculpted in, and they included a venti area, some good old vents on the inside and outside of the thighs. Nice little vent texture there. It's fun. Coming up here to the rest of him, we talked about the cannons on the chest area, all pointed in different directions. His face, we talked about that. Coming over here to his arms are very smooth. There's not really much going on here. I do wish there was a bit more, like maybe we could have gotten some stuff that folds out for more robot textures or something akin to that, but instead, the biggest thing we got is this piece that folds in and out that I don't really understand the use of. I don't get it. Are you supposed to remove it for robot mode? But if you remove it, then his arm has this huge gap in it, and if you close it up, then yeah. He's gonna pet you. Yes. Do you like it when Tidal Wave pets you, Kream? Huh? No, Tidal Wave liked you. What? No, you can't come behind the Tidal Wave and get me. You silly cat. You silly cat. So, coming down here to the arms, the arms don't have many fun textures. It's just the same textures from the aircraft carrier. And then you've got these hands that are just, in my opinion, terribly done. There's even some gappage, and I just like why are there even gaps there? Why did you waffle that section? So when it comes to waffling in negative space, there's none here. Okay, there's no waffling except in that little area I mentioned, and in this little fold out bit that's part of this flappy doodle on the side of the lower arm. I don't really get. It's supposed to be part of the Megatron combination. I haven't figured out yet. But yeah, those are the only waffling areas that you see or notice, at least that I've noticed, other than even the bottoms of the feet here. The heel has some waffling in it, but that all closes up for transformation, so you don't even see that. So yeah, it's got some great articulation for a Titan class. It actually stands better. I'm not worried about this Titan class falling over. Like, I'm not worried about Omega Supreme falling over, but I'm always worried about Black Zerek falling over because of that one problem with the fact that they made the toes folding inwards, upwards, a transformation gimmick instead of having them fold downwards. That would have actually helped because, the more weight you put on the toes, the stronger that connection would have been. Instead, with Black Zerek, they had the toes folding inwards. So these that fold downwards to make the part of the transformation works out the best because now it's in its sturdiest mode, and if it leans forward, this guy's got some big wide feet. They at least fixed that. He's got some solid joints. They fixed that when it comes to Titan class. I'm not worried about this falling over at all. I think it stands beautifully. I leave it in the room with Kream, and I'm not worried about Kream knocking it over. I think he can if he tries, but just because he jumped on the table, it's not going to fall over like I worry about Black Zerek. So my overall rating on this is going to be robot mode gets a 6 out of 10. Okay, it's stable, which is what you expect from a thing like this. It's got decent articulation for a Titan class, but there's just parts of it that I can't abide by. One is it needs to be just a bit bigger. Okay, I'm not asking for much bigger, but come on, you saw the difference in size of the Black Zerek in this guy, and I just wanted something a little bigger than what we got here. Not much bigger, but just a little bigger. And the hands are absolutely atrocious. I hate these hands. Part of the joy of having a Titan class figure is being able to pick up like pick up a smaller figure and hold them in the hand like a core class or something like that to really kind of showcase the menacing aura of this thing. Like I have Omega Supreme holding Starscream. Well, I did until I have Starscream over here, which there's my Starscream. A little comparison real quick of the Starscream. Look at it, he's so adorable next to the Titan class figure. Okay. By the way, Starscream, if you put him on the forearm, he goes from the end of the forearm to the elbow. Now, just an FYI, on the size scaling for Starscream. Let's put him back over there, and there's my little zapper. Pardon me. But no, the hands, I like posing my Titan class figures holding things. So I don't like the fact I can't hold things with this Titan class figure. I also enjoy, like with the Ark, where you can't really hold much with the Ark's hands. His hands their hands are at least bigger. Their hands are pretty large. And though you can't really hold any figures with their hands, I at least appreciate the alternate mode for the Ark. I could put it in the alternate mode and it looks amazing on the shelf. I actually have Omega Supreme, fighting Black Zerek to prevent Black Zerek from destroying the Ark because, why not have a fun scene like that? And I was hoping to try and add Tidal Wave into that fun scene. But he's not to scale in vehicle mode with anything, not even the Ark. It is terrible scaling right there. I'd like him to scale with Omega Supreme or Black Zerek, but he doesn't. I would love for him to scale with those two at least, but he doesn't. The vehicle modes for him just don't scale with the base mode or the vehicle mode stuff for Omega Supreme. Omega Supreme's rocket it does not scale correctly with the aircraft carrier that Tidal Wave becomes. And Tidal Wave, though you have some great joints, and it's easy to pose and stuff, It feels to me like a bit lackluster, especially since, and we're going to turn it around now, and this is where some of the bigger things that I have negatives of come from, is that you pull this guy out here. So, the Ark, the title, the Kingdom Ark also had a figure that came out, or a piece that came out of its core section, but it had a panel that folded over to cover this gaping hole, and even Black Zerek had a place to put the head of Black Zerek if you go into base mode, and if you want to put it there, you can. But it has a piece that folds over, so you don't see a giant hole all the time. I just don't get it. I don't get why there's a giant hole here when you could have given us a piece that folded over. All right, you were okay with Origins Wheeljack having a big, flat, rectangular piece on the back. So why aren't you okay with Tidal Wave having a big, flat, rectangular piece on the back? And let's not even get started with this weird skirt that doesn't do anything. It feels amazing, but it doesn't have any purpose in the transformation or anything like that. It's just got some caster wheels on it so it can roll. And that's strictly it for this piece. This is a mixed bag, okay? I really wanted to love this figure. When I got this figure, I was excited because I wanted to love this figure. And I just can't. I simply can't. I think it's a decent Transformer, but I don't think it's worth the $208. I mean, its transformation, in my opinion, is pretty crap. I'm only giving that transformation a 4 out of a possible 10. Okay, because, it does things, and there's panels that move, but seriously, the transformation for this guy is just subpar at best. And the vehicle modes all blow. They're just all terrible. Amphibious assault vehicle carrier things, like what his legs are made of, are not supposed to be smaller than aircraft carriers. And his arms are just too small for the rest of his body. His arms are just ridiculously small. Like, we're going to rip his arm off real quick. There it goes. Now, let's take a look. We're going to straighten his arm out, and we're going to see. Look at this. Look at this. His arm, the leg is so much longer than his arm. And the thing that gets me about it is the fact that his thigh is thinner than his arm is. Okay, my thighs aren't thinner than my arms. Why is this guy's thighs thinner than his arms? It's lopsided. It doesn't make sense to me. And at the end of the day, I don't like it. I simply just don't. And I'm going to go over the parts and pieces for Megatron in a video later this week. But you can consider the actual robot stuff for Tidal Wave to be complete with this video. My overall thoughts and feelings of it is if you absolutely need a Tidal Wave for your collection, I mean need with all capital letters, then maybe this is the one for you. But honestly, after messing with it, I'm kind of thinking you should just try and get the original one. Because the original one had more gimmicks. The original one seemed to be a lot more fun. I never got the original one. I don't know much about the original one. But what I do know about it is that this ain't it. And they could have given us an elevator gimmick. They could have given us a few extra things to make this really feel like a Titan-class figure. But this is the first Titan-class figure I've gotten that it doesn't feel like one. Even though it's tall, even though it's got really amazing plastic in it. I can't fault it for the plastic quality. This is just excellent plastic quality. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, how pretty the turd is. It's still a turd. Thank you for watching today's video in my blind reaction to Tidal Wave. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow, so I won't be available, but I will be back on Friday with the Fortnite motorboat, or if I could figure out how all the pieces for Tidal Wave that come off are supposed to combine together to create Super Megatron, then we'll be talking about Super Megatron on Friday. But yeah, we're skipping tomorrow. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Kream has enjoyed the episode. And please like, share, and subscribe one more time. And let me know in the comments below, what do you think about Tidal Wave? Do you think I gave him was too harsh on him? Let me know. Bye-bye for now.